Hey gang, welcome to video 6 of the Christian Posture series. Let's start with a moment of honesty. Have you ever, maybe just in your own thoughts, have you ever looked at someone in a hard place and thought, if they just made better choices, they wouldn't be in this situation? And boy am I glad that I didn't get in the same situation. It's okay to admit it. That instinct to make sense of suffering by finding fault, it's deeply human. It's deeply flawed. It's in our nature. But if we're not careful, that line of thinking becomes something more dangerous. It becomes pride. And pride closes our ears. It hardens our hearts. And it turns service into charity instead of ministry. We're not here to be better than anyone. We're here to walk with them, side by side as equals before God. You may have heard the phrase, "There but for the grace of God go I." It's a powerful reminder that many of us, we've benefited from circumstances, support systems that maybe others didn't have. And all of us, no exceptions, have made mistakes, we're sinners, and we failed. Our brokenness at this moment just looks different. In Psalm 139, it tells us, "I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made." That applies to everyone who walks through our doors, not just the ones who seem to have it together, not just the ones who talk like us, who believe like us, the ones who act like us. It's for everyone. God's image is in them, even if it's buried under trauma, under addiction, under poor circumstances. It's there even if they don't believe it themselves. We all know John 3:16. It says, "For God so loved the world," the whole world, not just the wise, not just the stable, not just the strong, everybody. Romans 5 says, "While we were still sinners, Christ died for us." Not after we cleaned up our act, while we were still a mess. That's the gospel. And it means there's no room in the kingdom for any kind of superiority. From a worldly perspective, yeah, maybe as a volunteer or staff, you have more stability at that time. You have more resources. We may seem to be the ones who are helping them in that moment. But from God's perspective, we're all sinners, we're all loved, and we are all equal in His eyes. You might be coming in with skills to share, trainings to lead, experiences to offer. That's good. God will use that. But don't be fooled by the circumstances and situation. You might be standing on solid ground while someone else seems to be sinking, but make no mistake, both of you are constantly in need of grace. Constantly need of forgiveness, saving. We all are. Here's such a great thing about it. God might be using you to help them, but He's also using them to shape you. So good. True humility doesn't seek to ignore your gifts, but it puts them in submission to God's authority, and it keeps your posture open, teachable, and curious. Through the eyes of God, you're no better, no worse than another. Align your posture with that truth. And not only will you honor those you serve, but you'll grow because of them. There is so much we can learn from the people that we're helping. Ask yourself, what might I learn from someone experiencing homelessness? What can I learn from someone experiencing deep loss or suffering? Not because they're formally teaching you, but because they've lived. They are enduring. They might teach you gratitude, resilience, or maybe it's the raw reality of dependence on God when everything falls away. I was teaching a financial fitness class and learned a budgeting tip from one of the members. They stretched every dollar in a way that I hadn't thought of, and it changed the way I spent my own money. But after the class, this person shared with the group that with the skills they learned, they felt that they still had hope for the chance at a beautiful life. That was their words. This person had more hope in the middle of their suffering than I had at that moment. And I'm teaching the class. I'm standing on solid ground. And they weren't envisioning much either. The beautiful thing is that beautiful life they envisioned was having the ability to buy their grandkids an ice cream cone. At that moment, I felt put on notice. I felt that this testimony revealed that I had nothing to complain about, but in my heart, that's all I was doing. And I grew from this demonstration of hope more than anyone learned from me during that time together. Witnessing people in their darkness, witnessing people in the wilderness, that will teach you more about hope, patience, surrender, perseverance than any book, any class ever could. No education can teach that. If you approach someone thinking, they have nothing to teach me, you're missing a divine opportunity. Jesus said in Matthew 25, "Whatever you did for the least of these, you did for me." We usually hear that and think about giving. But what if that also means receiving? What if Jesus is trying to teach us through the very people we think we're helping? So here's the challenge for you. What's one thing you've learned or could learn from someone that you've served? It might be a practical skill, a new way to see the world, a deeper understanding of God's mercy, a better understanding of yourself. Share that testimony with people that this service is not just about changing the lives of others, it changes us. Because that moment isn't just about insight, it's about honoring the dignity of the person who gave it to you. Don't position yourself above others, walk with them. We're not saviors, we're not heroes, we're fellow travelers, and Jesus is the only Savior. When we seek to remain humble and teachable, we honor the people we serve and we honor God. It makes our service more effective, more authentic, more beautiful. And here's the amazing part. God will grow you through the very people you thought you were helping. Next up, we're going to talk about the big picture, making space for God to work. Because while we bring skills, our presence, our compassion, ultimately, it's God who transforms lives. All right, gang, thank you for spending this time reflecting with me. Together, we will move forward in humble and Christ-centered leadership. Bye for now.